Hi, this is Jennifer Dono, and in this video, I'm doing a productive plan with me for March 2021. I have to get stuff done, like a lot of stuff this month. Plus, I have some personal goals that I'm working towards. My aim for the end of my time with you today is that you'll feel as motivated and hopeful about the upcoming month as I am. To feel prepared and motivated for the month ahead, I'm breaking my planning down into 5 areas for you to do with me. Setting up my calendar, planning my meals, a little homeschool organization, an update on creating lists, and using my index cards. I'll share with you why and what I do for each of these areas. Let's get started with the easiest one, which is my calendar. I'm using Google Calendar to keep it super simple and streamlined. In the past, I've used a paper planner for this too, but I'm cutting out the redundancy and keeping it simple. My goal is to be productive. I first review all of my appointments and make a note of any appointments I need to make for the month ahead. I ensure that all of my reoccurring time commitments are in there too, and will check my kids' calendar as well, which I keep separately for them. I have their Google Home linked up to that calendar and a bedtime routine that's set up for them that reviews their next day's schedule. It's more of a novelty as they're kids, but it's fun for them. Also, I make sure any attachments, directions, or notes I might need are added for quick access while I'm out and about. Finally, I do some research for fun events, celebrations, or general happenings to add to the calendar. Now, I did this at the beginning of the year for each month. However, I'll also do a quick check for movie premieres, local events, classes starting, birthdays on Facebook, or mentioned by friends on Instagram to add. Now that I have my calendar a little bit more organized, I start to work on my ideas for meals for the month. To be honest, I have yet to set a plan of meals for the entire month in the past year. However, this month I'm changing that. Like most online creators, I plan my dinners. I also like to note lunch, breakfast, and snacks too, especially since we're on a budget. I make casual notes on what's available to eat. In the past, I made this pretty varied for fun and nutritional purposes, but for March, we're keeping it down to basics. I use Trello to keep my meals and most of my life organized. Trello just got a little upgrade with a clean logo and some other fun aesthetic pieces for boards. I'm trying out business class on one of my teams now in order to have fun with the new features. They're awesome, but I'm not sure if it's worth the price point for me just yet. To meal plan, I create a card for each recipe or meal idea I like. I then add a photo to the card, and if I have time, I'll add the recipe instructions and ingredients straight to the card with a link for reference. However, usually I'll just paste or email a recipe over to my board and do the extras later, like now when I'm preparing for the month ahead. I love this because I can do a quick search for the ingredients I have on hand and get recipes I already love or have noted I wanted to try. It's also pretty to look through and organize for my needs already. Plus, my Trello food board is available on any device I'm using whenever I need it. Here's an example week that I'll do this twice in March. Each of the Trello meal cards is assigned to a date that's synced up with my calendar. I get reminders the night before, which is great if any defrosting is involved. So that's how I've meal planned for March. Moving on to homeschooling. I know not everyone is homeschooling, so make sure to check out my timestamps to skip around the video. I also use Trello to organize our homeschool efforts. Again, in another moment of honesty, I slacked on this method hard from November to January for a number of reasons. However, in February, I got back on track and feel good about continuing the process. My homeschool board keeps all necessary information for me on hand: references, resources, PDF curriculums. March is a list, and each date is a card, with weekends getting one card. I add holidays and celebrations to the card titles to pull in timely events to our focus. I add rough ideas to each date based on our goals as a family and what their teacher-parent partnered program requires. I also added fields to be checked for easy reference on what subjects we're able to get to each day. I link any YouTube videos we'll use, printables, handouts, etc. The day of, I simply know what we did that could be related to their homeschool. That covers more of the classical education activities one thinks of like worksheets, but also things the kids do during the day that I'd consider life learning, applicable to different subjects. I attach photos I take during the day as we go. This is all just for my reference, and I use my notes in our reporting for their school program as well. One fun idea you might want to consider if interested is focusing on nutrition in March with your kids or even with just yourself. I'm pulling from eatright.org, which has some tools, resources, and even games to play. While this isn't necessarily your typical planning activity, this is a big component of how I actually plan and organize my life now, and that's morning pages. If you haven't yet, watch my video on the results I got from completing the Artist Way and writing my morning pages for 12 weeks. I still write my morning pages, and in doing so, I'm able to get a good idea of a to-do list and primary focus for my days, usually. The reason why I bring this up is that in March, I'm going to try out morning pages using a Rocketbook. My mother-in-law gifted this book to me for my birthday, and I've been excited to try it out. It's like a dry erase journal that you can save electronically, but cooler. I'll let you know how it goes. So, my morning pages have been the foundation for my daily to-do list, reflection, and goal clarification process. I can doodle, create charts, make lists, and more in that space. With that being said, I no longer use a paper planner. It just all gave me a feeling of wasted time towards the end of my 2020 planner. Then, when it came to getting organized about achieving my goals, what actions I needed to take and when to take them, I transferred the planner checklist concept over to my planner cards. I now use my planner cards like I would Trello. They're like my planner, but better. I'm not constantly looking at the same to-do list and stressing and beating myself up over not completing it. I'm also not consistently procrastinating on my to-do list like I was. My actions are broken down into cards, which are assigned to a day based on the rhythm of my week. And if I don't get to a card, it gets shuffled either to the next week or the day I will most likely, absolutely, be able to tackle it. Just that simple shift really eases my mind. I have a similar setup in Trello now with Butler commands that all automate the system, but I really like the tactile one I've used for years. I'll share more about my new take on planner cards in another video. For the purpose of March, I'm focused on using my cards to track getting 21,000 steps in every day. I did a similar challenge in 2020, so check out that video on my results. It was hard but super fun and made me feel really good. If you're into walking for weight loss, along with your Artist Way activities, or even for your mental health, then subscribe to my channel. I'll put out vlogs tracking my walking process every Monday in March. I also have a planning video coming out every Thursday this month too. Did I mention I plan my YouTube videos using Trello for the month? I won't bore those of you who don't create content, but if you are interested, I do have a video on that and I'll link it in the description box. Please subscribe and like this video to let the YouTubes know to show you more of my content. Leave me a comment to let me know what you're working on in the month of March. Whatever it is, I'm wishing you lots of luck and sending you all the virtual energy I can.